Dear Riot, I thought you were on a roll. I really did. From us getting to see Annie's story unfold in front of our very eyes, to stories like The Whispering Doodad that really explore character dynamics and how champions actually interact with one another in the lore. I almost just said in game. Fuck, I'm baked. I thought you were popping off, Riot. I really did. However, something happened. Something bad. You see, the Ruination event was coming, and I, sadly, was excited. Now, a YouTuber, TB Skyen, said that Viego is no Mordekaiser, and that's the point. And you know, I'd like to talk about that, actually. I agree. Viego on his own terms, as Viego is no Mordekaiser, and that's the point. That's how they designed him. But, see, here's what I have to say. Because, see, I'd argue that the Ruined King was supposed to be a Mordekaiser. He was someone like Sauron. Someone so unbelievable in power. Some fantastical overlord with unending and overwhelming hordes of minions. Or, in Viego's case, the dead. You even see a little bit of that unending army theme take place, in Legends of Runeterra and how Viego works there, right? The entire Black Mist is that very idea. It's everywhere. You can't get away from it. The Ruined King was not meant to not be a Mordekaiser. He was meant to be a Mordekaiser. He was hyped as a Mordekaiser, or a Ledros, or a Sauron, or just some larger-than-life figure. Ledros sort of poor point. That really only takes in how he looks. I mean, I'm not gonna get into that because I hate the lore now. Anyways, Viego misses what I think the Ruined King meant to be. We got baited. Oh, Riot. I'm not done quite yet, though. I have more to say. Have you seen the Iron Giant? Well, if you haven't, the TLDR is War Machine does not want to be War Machine. Peace and prosperity, man. Anyways, imagine you make, I don't know, Iron Giant 2. And he goes off and starts a motherfucking war. Or, a real-life example would be the countless times he's used for combat in other pieces of media, or war, or destruction. Right? Like the new Space Jam or Ready Player One, right? Of course, the good thing about this is that the Iron Giant is really just there. Well, I mean, good things, sort of. I don't know. Iron Giant's really just there as a, hey, look at me, and this isn't really important to the story. Or, more importantly, his story has not actually been altered. But you see, Riot is the god of all their champions, and they can do whatever they want with them, right? It's not a bunch of franchises trying to work together. So, we're a little unlucky. But don't worry, I'll talk about it. Let's go with one of my favorites, Vayne, first. Vayne is a deeply traumatized xenophobe that basically acts on instinct at this point because of what happened in her past and how she's lived her life. There's a moment in the cinematic where Ruined Pantheon, you're seeing it right now, I'm playing it for you right now, no doubt I'm not. Ruined Pantheon gives her like 3 seconds to do something. There's a counter, counting the seconds. And do you know what Vayne does to monsters who give her even a second to do something? Well, she fucking murders them. And this is extended to even someone she loved like a mother. And she just sits there with everyone else who's like, yeah, blah, it's over. Well, I don't know how well Vayne knows Pantheon or those Light Sentinel buddies, but I can tell you one thing. As far as real Vayne is concerned, that is a fucking monster. You may go, well, he's not gonna be, and that's the point. Vayne's entire theme, her story, is that human or not, anything can act monstrous. And that is what truly makes you a monster, right? Bane is a monster. Bane is consumed with revenge and hate for the things that took her family away. Bane should be acting like she's in a goddamn 120-minute game and should be gunning every one of those ruinated motherfuckers and ghouls alike down. But this is not the only betrayal of character and theme in this event. Let's talk about a huge one. Pantheon's story, or more specifically, Atreus's. Pantheon got shit on so hard by Aatrox that the Pantheon, the god died! The god died! Atreus was so grateful then for the selfless act a soldier did trying to protect him, knowing that the soldier would die, that he just decided to fucking live instead of dying! Atreus' story is about your free will being stolen from you and you ripping it back. It's a story about the power of willpower. And let's ignore the fact that Atreus had more will to live than a fucking god themselves. Oh, yeah, by the way, Riot, is Viego more powerful than an aspect? I'm just curious. If he is, please go rewind to why Viego is meant to be a Mordekaiser. If he's not, then he shouldn't be able to control Atreus, fucking period. In fact, let's ignore all the science of Runeterra for a moment and say Pantheon can be mind-controlled, right? We should never see that story happen, because we've already gotten that story. That was his whole arc, being controlled by Pantheon and breaking out of it through death. Letting him get controlled again completely misses the theme of his character. And it upsets me greatly that you've done this, Riot. At this point, I'm just going to refer to when this happens as gianting, because of the Iron Giant analogy earlier. So, great job, Riot. You fucking gianted us again. I'm not really going to touch on Yorick, as Skyen basically covered all I have to say, but I'll say a little something. Yeah, nice Riot, letting Yorick's climax of his entire story be stolen and squandered. You know what was cool? When Yasuo and Riven finally got their arc concluded. It was extremely rewarding, as this was a big arc in both their stories. Imagine if that was stolen from Yasuo, or Riven. Imagine if this event came around and Lucian just handed Senna his gun and said, "Later, bitch!" Like, what the fuck, Riot? On to Thresh. Thresh, TB Skyen also touched on this a little bit, the skin. I think I can add more. Thresh, when it comes to his story, Thresh transforming into a more human-like form is a big problem. Thresh delights in acting like a monster, but also in actually being one. He rejects humanity and is prideful of his monstrous appearance. Need I remind you of one of his most iconic quotes, Riot? I shouldn't. After all, you're the company that made him, but this event has enlightened me. So I'll enlighten you. Flesh is a prison. This is... fuck, I forget the literary term. Allegory? Symbolism? I don't know. Fucking look it up. Whatever the point is. Thresh is saying a lot more here than that. It's a characterization of who he is. Here, Thresh really says, you are weak for being human. You are limited by being human. I am not like you. I am better. And this says a lot about his character and vibe. I mean, listen. Listen to him when he says the quote. Read Thresh's story. I mean, if he's getting a extra double scoop with a cherry on top, Shadow Isles form... Oh, wait, fuck. Apparently that's called his ruinated form? Sorry, I thought he was already ruinated. LOL! I must be an idiot. Basically, if you're gonna put a double scoop of Shadow Isles on Thresh, he should be more monstrous. Otherwise, you are missing Thresh's character and the point of him. And then you're just making a fucking poser. I have a lot more to talk about with you, Riot, but I'm running out of ink and space and breath, so for now, I'll leave you with this. It's fine and fun to explore how characters could be different. However, there are things that make characters dumb, things at their very core level that you have changed, and that's not okay. You gave me a slow Sonic. That's what alternate universe skins are for, and alternate universe lore is for. Now, I gotta go puke. I just had to force myself to actually read that shit. Can we